it's Timmy Joe Reviews Anything, and today on the program, it's, computer time. I'm going to follow up that computer vlog I just did and explain what I think the bare minimum of a gaming rig should have. If you're, going to have a gaming device and it's a computer, you're probably going to want it to run games as well, or if not better, than an Xbox One or a PS4. And, this is just an off-the-shelf Best Buy PC, but I'm going to explain why for about the same price as those Xbox One or PS4, you can get the same performance or better, and you can still get to use it as a normal everyday computer. So let's get to the intro and we'll talk all about it. So, hello there. What kind of computer is this? Well, this is a Core i5 Asus off-the-shelf Best Buy PC. I mean, I'll put what it is, like the model number on the screen here, but it doesn't really even matter. As long as you get a system with, at least a third generation Core i5 computer, and it's a desktop and it has a PCIe slot in it, you can do what I'm going to be talking about here. Basically, this is just like, at the time it was probably a $500 computer, and I'm sure you could pick it up used with this kind of specs for much less than that. Or if you want a newer generation, it's going to be in the area of like $500 for this computer. And I've seen them these days, and I'll throw some examples up on the screen. All you need is a GTX 750 Ti or better to game and have the performance of an Xbox One or a PS4. I mean, this is a Zotac GeForce. It's I bought this on sale at Christmas time for like $140. Fired this thing in here. The great thing about this is it's the Maxwell architecture for GeForces, and what that means is it doesn't need any extra power. I'm running the stock power supply in this unit because it hasn't crapped out yet, so why replace it? And I've added a fan in here with Jimmy rigged a fan in here, just so there's a little bit extra cooling running in it. But stock everything else. Added another RAM stick. So this is a Core i5 3330 with 16 gigs of RAM, running two 256 gig solid state drives, just because I like how fast they are, and if it's going to be my video editing machine, I might as well have both of them in here to get the maximum amount of space and have some room for video games. And then the GeForce 750 Ti plops right in there, no extra power connectors, and like you are ready to rock and roll. I mean, this thing runs 60 FPS in most titles on super high graphics before like a few years ago, and then you get into your Fallout 4s and your Tomb Raiders, and it's still going to run really smoothly, at 45 FPS at 1080p on high settings. We'll get into some real benchmarks in a second, but yeah, just off the shelf, you could build this PC for less than $400, I'm sure, these days, and get some real performance out of a computer, and that's what I've been using. So let's jump to some stuff and some things, and we'll poop our pants.
So I'm not really a big benchmark guy, but when it comes to benchmarking, I know that Cinebench is one of the mainstays of checking this stuff out, and getting a 78 FPS is really good in this, and then 417 on the CPU side, not so great, but when you compare it to an i7 with a GeForce 680 and it gets the same FPS, I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? FPS in gaming in an OpenGL environment, like, we're comparable to the year before's graphics card, the top of the line. And then if you want to compare apples to apples here, we're going to test Tomb Raider on this system, and, this article is all about how the Xbox One is locked out at 30 FPS for 1080p in the new Tomb Raider, not the newest one, but the re-release of Tomb Raider, as a standalone game. And it says here the PS4 is getting 30 to 60 FPS, and it's not a locked position. So I'll go ahead and show my score, and then we'll compare it. So you can see we're at max graphics here, ultra settings, Tomb Raider, launch right into the benchmarking application, and the only thing not turned on my PC here is her crazy hair effect. If I put that on, I lose like 5 or 6 FPS, makes it kind of jittery. So see 46.5 average FPS, which is really good. right in the area of the PS4, and of course the Xbox One would only get 30 because it's locked there. And just so we can compare, here's a YouTube video I found where the PS4 is going, right around the same graphics as me, and the Xbox is locked at 30. So when I check out this article for Fallout 4 for the consoles, it says that they are locked at 1080p 30 frames a second, and it says here that if they were to consider putting it at any higher of an FPS, that they'd be downscaling it. So I'm going to show here, I'm going to go ahead and load Fallout 4 at ultra settings here at 1080p, and we'll just skip ahead here. I wasn't able to record this one the same here, so I'm just recording it with my GoPro so that we can see the FPS in the corner there. And we'll skip right into Diamond City, and we'll see I'm right around 30 FPS, with a lot going on in Diamond City here at ultra maxed out settings, which I'm sure the consoles do not run, this high of a spec and resolution in Fallout 4. So, doing pretty good.
Hi! Oh, so, is it worth it building your own PC? Is that something that you guys are into? I certainly am, and I know there's a whole PC, master race that would agree with me here. I'm sure for a little bit more money you can even get a way better computer than I've made here, but, as you can see, I've forged together all the parts online to make a comparable PC to this that outperforms PS4 in a lot of the testing, and it still does things like word process and store all your media files and web browse and, video edit and all that good stuff. But something I'm into. Might not be your cup of cake. Might not be your cup of tea, your piece of cake. Anyways, subscribe, write in the comments what you guys think, and it's a review of my Asus gaming computer. So hit the subscribe button, and I do thank you very much for watching.